Eli Apple was drafted 10th overall by the New York Giants in the 2016 NFL Draft. And his career didn't really pan out the way he wanted it to, because after the Giants, he swapped from team to team. But most notably, he was picked up by the Bengals, and that's where he made a Super Bowl and finally made a name for himself, but it wasn't the way you expected him to. He didn't have good play on the field, but talked a lot of trash on the internet, and that's kind of where he got his name. And today, we're going to try to revive his career and turn him into the player that he wanted to be since he was a rookie. But before we can get into that, less than 1% of people who watch my videos are subscribed, so if you could do me a huge favor and go down below and hit that sub button, and also let me know down in the comments below whose career you want me to revive next. And also, if this video gets over 100 likes in the first 24 hours of being up, I'll finally be able to buy myself Taco Bell, which I've been craving for weeks, but I set a goal and I want to hit it. So please help me out with that. Let's get into the video. So here in this career revival, Eli Apple is drafted to the Buccaneers, and at the end of each season, we're going to spin a wheel to see if he gets upgraded or downgraded. But we only do that for the first 5 seasons when he's in the NFL. So we're not going to do it for his rookie year. We're just going to sim to the end of the season and see how well he can play. In Eli Apple's rookie year, the Buccaneers do make the playoffs going 11-6, but let's take a look if Eli Apple is part of the reason they made the playoffs, and I'm not so sure. He didn't seem to be a starter at the beginning of the year, and it doesn't look like he was a starter near the end either. Going for only, no interceptions, only 2 deflections, and 25 solo tackles, 32 combined. Not a good year from him, but let's see if they can win playoff games, because at the end of the year, that's what matters. And even though he's not going to be playing, it would still nice to win. But they lose 28-21 to the Vikings, so let's go spin the wheel. So here we are at the wheel. Let's spin it to see what he's able to get. Like I said, he can either upgrade or downgrade from this. We're hoping an upgrade, and it looks like he's going to get +4 to block shed. So that will help him get more tackles. So let's give him his upgrade. But before we do that, he's a star dev with an 80 overall, playing up to an 81. So let's look at what his block shedding is right now and see what it is. It's 60. Let's get that up to a 64. It doesn't make his overall go up any, but he does get that +4 block shedding, which we hope helps him later on in his career when all he's doing is making tackles. This will also be the first year we see him as a starter. He's the 3rd overall on the depth chart. So let's see what he can do in year number 2. So here we are at the wheel, and hopefully he can get an upgrade, because right now he is not looking like the player that they really wanted to draft. And I don't think it's going to get much better, because he's getting -1 to his zone ability. So let's go give him the downgrade and see if it bumps his overall down at all. So right now he has an 82 overall zone coverage, and he's an 82 overall. So let's see if it goes down when we degrade his zone coverage. And now that it's an 81, his overall stays the same. So maybe he'll play better this season, but we'll have to sim to the end of the season to find out. And in year number 3, they don't make the playoffs once again, but let's take a look at his stats, because you never know if he had a really good season and his team just didn't do that good. But right now, I'm not too sure what happened. And it looks like Eli Apple has 1 interception, 1 tackle for a loss, a half of a sack, 93 total tackles though, and 6 deflections. So it looks like he is getting better, but he's still not that corner that the Bucs really wanted. So let's go to the wheel and see if we can create him into that player. And here we are, we're back at the wheel. Let's see, after we spin it, what he gets. And hopefully it's an upgrade. I say that every time, but he really does need it. And it looks like he's going to get +4 to block shed once again. And to be honest with you, I didn't see a huge increase other than tackles from this. So maybe he'll get 100 tackles next season. But we'll have to sim to find out. His block shedding didn't go up at all since the last time we upgraded it. So it's still at a 64. Let's get it to a 68. And getting it up to a 68 doesn't change his overall at all, but he is a star development playing up to an 85. So let's go to the end of this season and see if the Bucs can make the playoffs once again. And we don't. We have an all-time low season with a 2-15 record, but the Panthers go 16-1. Which is crazy to me. But let's look at the stats and see what he was able to do this season. I hope it's an upgrade. And oh, that's why we went 2-14. But that's not the point. Let's look at the defense, see if he had a better season. And he had 1 interception, 1 tackle for a loss, 103 tackles though. And he had 6 deflections. So not bad, but he isn't really the corner type that you want. A lot of tackles isn't really good. You want more interceptions because that's creating turnovers. But let's go to the wheel and see if we can make it where he gets turnovers. So let's spin the wheel, see what we get. And like always, hopefully it's an upgrade. And it looks like it's going to be +1 to hit power, which basically is just making him a really good cornerback. But I think he'd be better off as a safety as of right now. Right now, his hit power is a 47, so let's get it to a 48. And at a 48, his overall doesn't go up at all. He's an 85 overall, playing up to an 86 with star development still. He's a good, decent corner, but I feel like he needs that it factor about him, and right now, he doesn't really have that. And in his last year that we're going to spin the wheel for him, they go 5-12, but let's take a look to see if he had better year than he has in previous years. And I really hope he did, because I'm not trying to have a career revive not go well. But he had 4 interceptions, 3 tackles for a loss, 4 pass deflections, and 89 tackles. So he is turning into more of that corner role for them, but he's not really there yet. So let's hope this last wheel spin can really get him over that hump. Here we are at the wheel for the last time this video, and let's see what he's able to get. And it looks like it's going to land on +1 to press, which is good. It basically gives him more man coverage. So let's see if that can be the it factor he needs. His press was a 90. I upgraded it to a 91, but he's playing up to 94 press, and he's an 88 overall, still with star development. So we're going to sim 5 years in the future and see if he's still with the Bucs and how well he's doing in the NFL. Eli Apple is now a 90 overall at the age of 30 years old, but let's take a look at his career stats to see how good he's been since we left him. We left him in 2027, and since then, he's had only 1 year where he's gotten over 5 interceptions. Not the best from him. He had 2 years where he had 0. There's no injuries, so that's not the case. He does get a lot of tackles, but his best year was the 72, 1 tackle for loss, 5 interceptions, and let's see, 4 deflections. Nothing crazy from him. He's won NFC Defensive Player of the Week in Week 18 of this year, I'm going to assume. But he's only played for the Buccaneers, and he only has 2 years left in his deal. So let's go then and see if he re-signs with the Buccaneers or decides to retire. And at the end of his contract, he is a 86 overall with star dev. He is 32 years old, but let's see what kind of contract extension they gave him. And they gave him a 1-year, $19 million deal. So let's sim the rest of the season and see if he's even going to stay with the Bucs after this or if he's going to retire. After his 1-year deal with the Bucs, he's now a 79 overall with star development. And I don't think he'll be on the Bucs much longer. But let's see if he was able to do anything with his career. He did sign another 1-year deal with them, but he hasn't really won any awards in his lifetime, and I don't know if he's won a Super Bowl, so let's check that out. And in recaps, it doesn't look like he won at all. They've never made it to a Super Bowl, let alone win it. So, yeah, it's a GG's from there. He hasn't won anything yet, and I don't know if he's going to win anything in his last couple seasons, but let's go to the day he retires to find out. And there it is. He retires after 14 years in the NFL. He was really nothing but a role player, and it didn't have the career that he wished he had. So we weren't really able to give him anything better than what he's already has right now. But if you like this video, make sure to check out my other career revives and my NFL rebuilds. And also let me know down in the comments below who should I revive next. And make sure to like and subscribe for more football content. Peace.